أي. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back. So this was a topic that we started in our last meeting. We went halfway through, and inshallah today let's conclude that. But today I was also thinking about making another pass if you guys would like to come up with some topics to discuss, maybe for a future session. Shall I give it a try or start with discussion? Like any topic, and I'll give examples because last time we met with a group of students like you guys, we were trying to understand what are big problems in people's lives nowadays. And they are, again, students like you. And one of the major things that we realized was expectation of praise. People said that we are too much obsessed with that, and this is affecting our everyday life. Just to hear praise from someone or get a promotion or the way I wear, it's really affecting my day-to-day decisions. So expectation of praise was one of them, for instance. Why do you expect praise? Is it right? Is it wrong? How do you cope with that and whatnot? Another one that they mentioned was perfectionism. So they said, I'm over perfectionist. I'm trying to do the best of everything, and it's affecting my life with all its details. A third one was loneliness. People said that we are, or at least people are feeling lonely. Even within crowds, they feel lonely. So what's the solution to that? Does Quran offer any solution to that? Like these sort of fundamental problems in people's lives, like anything of that sort, does it come to your mind? The reason I'm repeating that is, like if it's a Quran study, generally the questions are being in the form of how to understand this verse, or there's some religious matter and how do we figure out what that means? That's a valid question, and we should also discuss that. But even more substantial questions in life, do you have anything of this sort? Okay. So we had this large set of Google Doc questions that we had, and I realized what are dreams is another new question that came to there. So these are the ones that we have so far studied. I pulled this up above since I started hearing Qadar a lot. If no new question comes, I'm planning to dive into Qadar starting next week.
Like Surah Al-Qadr? Surah Al-Qadr or like?
No, the Qadar, the divine determining, destiny. So this is generally a question that people have. I don't know how well we can cover it, but at least we will give it a try.
I have questions, but now I'm tempted to not share them with you because I want to go with Qadr.
With Qadar, okay.
But I'll tell you still. I've been thinking about Bismillah a little.
Okay.
In the name of Allah, and I realized that, like, when I say it, like, it is also bringing my attention to the fact that, like, the act that I'm going to do, it's not for Allah.
Okay.
So, like, what is Bismillah generally?
Okay. That's a very relevant question to ask. Because if you open Quran, this is the first verse that comes and greets you, so it's interesting. What does it mean? Like the FBI comes in the name of police, live here. Like in the name of Allah, what does that mean, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe it's also time we discuss parents.
Parents. Ooh. You are going to make me get fired from the department, from the school. Okay, what
think
about
we-
parents?
Done like some conversations about how balance is important.
Mhm.
But I feel like a lot of people are struggling with how to balance parents' expectations with things they want to do. And I feel like it's also like just becoming a barrier to religion also. Because I feel like we've prioritized education a lot. And parents don't want their children to sacrifice like their grades for like Islam. Like Islam is there, yeah, but you know, school is more important. So
Something like that?
yeah.
Okay.
Revenge,
Ooh.
another one that I've been thinking of, but I think you have that in there. It was Rida's question on if I raise my hand at you, if you raise your hand at me, I will not raise my hand at you.
Okay, that was Rida's. I thought it.
Even that 28, number 28.
Okay,
I've been,
this one?
I didn't say that.
You didn't?
No, that wasn't my question.
okay, I don't know who said that.
Okay.
But in that, like, I've been thinking of something that we've normalized a lot, which is comebacks. You know, like if somebody says something to you and you make like a quirky comeback, everyone's gonna be like, wow, you know, and you're gonna get praised for it.
Mm.
So I think that's something we've normalized.
Okay, so we got 3 examples. Anything else?
Fourth and last.
Okay, go ahead.
I think you talked about how important Ashhadu an la ilaha is, especially like the latter part of it, how it's really important to say, you know, the prophet was an abd. But I've been thinking like, how do the two like flow together? So I understand Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, but then how does Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu follow? Like, are the two connected? Are the two separate? Why is it important to make those two like bear witness claims? And perhaps also, how can I bear witness to the prophets, like prophet being an abd or even being the Rasul when, say, I haven't seen him?
Okay. So this is more so a question about the second part.
Yeah,
Mm,
because I think we had an extensive discussion on the first part. But when I'm saying it, like, I don't see the connection. I feel like there are two parts that are disjoint. I don't know if they're supposed to flow.
good. MashaAllah, nice questions. What do you think, folks?
I like the parents one.
You like the parents one? Good. It looks like this touches your lives. Hey, what else? Okay. There was a Fatiha tafsir somebody asked here, so let's pull it up. Okay, what's specific about this? إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. What does that mean? Is this a question?
Yeah, this is the question. What does that mean? Why pray for Allah? We asking for
Okay,
help.
good. Anything else?
I like the perfection is something that
Okay. Yeah. Did we talk about perfectionism here? No.
It was when you first started the introduction.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah, we had a session about this at the last retreat that we had, but we can redo it in here. If it's not going to be boring for Dua. The Dua was there. Perfectionism. Yeah. Good. Yes.
Would free will be covered under the qadar?
Yeah, free will be under qadars. Okay, good. Mashallah, it's coming. Ooh, okay. Zara says, can we also discuss Beni Israel's attitude when they were asked to slaughter a cow? I don't understand how that was problematic. Okay. Anything about Beni Israel nowadays is dangerous to discuss for okay. Of cow in Israel's attitude. Okay.
I
Yes.
would like to learn more about the story of Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam in Quran.
Okay. Why?
Uh, I have learned a little bit, but I didn't got to understand full context of it. So
Okay. Okay. That's good.
Wait, can I also mention something?
Okay. Yeah, inshallah made a different look at you. Oh, well. Why aren't you Muslim? So many questions. What's wrong with you?
I was thinking, so we learned, like, I feel like I know more about like how poor prophets behaved. Like,
Poor behave? What
so
do you
like
mean?
some prophets were poor and some were rich.
Okay.
And I know more about how poor prophets behave,
Okay.
but like I'm not poor. So I don't exactly know like how to act with money. Like, am I supposed to become poor?
Mm.
And I was thinking I should perhaps like read the Quran and read like the story of rich prophets in there, or middle
Mm.
class if there are any. But I was wondering if maybe we could, yeah, that. Are there any examples of like prophet who had money and how they dealt with that? And Prophet Suleiman might be relevant to that.
Okay. Okay. Sarah says, build a castle that makes the queen feel like a peasant. Okay. Good. Alhamdulillah. Anything else? So, in general, I mean, these are questions. There could be a ton of more questions, but at least this practice should motivate you to see life. I mean, you all have problems in life. You have problems at home. It might be financial. It might be with parents. It might be a health problem. Anything could be. But do you expect an answer from your creator to that problem? You should. This is my point by having this session of providing questions. Like it shouldn't be like, yeah, I need to go to a psychiatrist. I need to go to I don't know, a different sort of medicine I need. Does my creator answer those problems? From him alone, I do seek help. Do I really? Do I really seek help from him alone, or sometimes from him, sometimes from somebody else? So this is why this introspection is what we need. Like, be aware of your problems, your questions, and do you turn to your creator for seeking answers to those? And if you really open yourself to Quran as such, Quran will start speaking to you like a friend, and as an honest friend that you can comfortably share everything from you. You will start having that conversation. That's so beautiful, so nice, so warm. So let's try to do that. This is the point, inshallah. Okay. Good. So Qadar went all the way to 17. We'll see, inshallah, where we will start from. So this was purification of the self. A very quick recap of what we discussed. We were questioning. So what does it mean to cleanse or purify the self? And for like the Arabic term for that is tazkiyatun nafs. So cleansing the self or the soul. Nafs is being sometimes translated as self, sometimes translated as the evil commanding soul. But how do you cleanse it? So is purification of self a good thing or a bad thing? This was the question we asked. Is self-justification a form of purification of the self? Because it could be understood in many ways, right? Somebody comes and blames me with a murder, saying that you killed someone. And I'm trying to cleanse myself from that false claim. Or maybe I truly killed someone, but still I am trying to cleanse myself from that claim. So it really depends. Is cleansing a good thing or a bad thing? From there do you look at it, okay? Because this was the verse we first picked up. Those who avoid big sins and shameful deeds, الذين يجتنبون كبائر الإثم والفواحش إلا اللمم إن ربك واسع المغفرة. Surely indeed your Lord is ample in forgiveness. هو أعلم بكم إذ أنشأكم من الأرض وإذ أنتم أجنة في بطون أمهاتكم. He is best aware of you when he created you from the earth and when you were hidden in the bellies of your mothers. فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. Therefore, do not cleanse yourselves. Is an interesting way. We are going to see two different ways of cleansing the self, but this is the first verse I would like to bring to your attention. I'm going to talk about the other side of the coin as well, but first this is the side that we discussed in our last meeting, last term. فَلَا تُزَكُّوا أَنفُسَكُمْ in here means, therefore ascribe not or do not ascribe purity unto yourselves. Do not say that I'm perfect, I didn't do anything wrong. Be honest with yourself. Are you clean in this sense? The Creator is saying that I know you from your birth. I know you when you were earth. I know you when you were in the bellies of your mom. I know everything about you. Who are you cleansing yourself from? Are you like kidding me? Sort of. Creator says, I know everything about you. I know every single breath that you take. Who are you trying to cleanse yourself from? I can't fool you guys, but can I fool the Creator? So is that effort a meaningful effort then? I'm trying to, just by cleansing myself before you. Because probably in a social one-to-one interaction, for whatever reason, for whatever benefit, I might find it important to cleanse myself before you guys. But let's put this aside. I think the bigger problem is when I cleanse myself before myself. When I feel like, no, I am right. Rida is wrong. I am right. Like, let's say we had some sort of a problem and it's always me who is right. Am I right? Because I'm cleansing myself. I'm always looking at it from a self-centric perspective. And I say, no, Rida has to say, sorry, why me? So do you guys go through such things in your life? I'm pretty sure everybody has a share of that. So in there, I am cleansing myself and seeing the problem at somebody else. So much so that sometimes I start seeing problem in God. Have you ever experienced things like that? No? A friend of mine, I was talking to him recently, like he's going through some hardships in life. He's not complaining, but complaining. He's saying that, well, pray that God make us smile. Like he turn our fortune so that we are going to find our ways, a good job, a good house, this and that. There's this sense of entitlement, like God owes me a good life, but he didn't give it to me yet. Like I am a worthy being who should have a good life, like this guy has. Like he gave it to him, not to me. So it looks like I was worthy of a good life, like him. He gave it to him, but not to me. So there's this sense of I deserve it, yet God didn't give it to me. Who am I blaming now? It started with blaming Rida, but it didn't stop with blaming Rida. I even started blaming the creator in the expense of cleansing myself. No, I am perfectly deserving of everything. Where did you come up with this idea? Where did this come from? Like, do I owe you any money? No. What if you were thinking that I owe you any money? And you start saying that, oh, you should have given me this money. People will laugh at you, right? Where did you come up with this idea? Oh, you would say, well, you gave $500 to Hazrat. Why not to me? I gave him. I mean, it's my money. I gave him 500. Me giving him 500 doesn't make me owe you 500. But these are the things that we do a lot. So this is something for when it comes to problems that I go through, I should question when this automatic mechanism kicks in, starting to defend myself. Forget what defending it to others, but in my own world, if I start defending myself, I should take a pause there and see if this is a justified defense or is the baseless defense. Since we have a soon-to-be lawyer there, what do you think about this?
Important to take a pause before you defend yourself. That's number one. And two, I think you have the right to defend yourself if it's the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
Two initial reactions.
Yes, I mean, you should definitely seek your right if somebody is wrongfully hitting me and whatnot. That's correct. But I am over defending me, let's put it this way, right? Because I feel like I don't have any problems, or at best I would say yes, but mine is small. He did the big part, like with parents, for example, or with friends. This is how it happens, right? You have a fight with your friend, and then you say, well, I was just joking, and it was clear that I was joking. Let's say this is how I do. And then, but I mean, what about her? She got offended. Like it's plain joke, right? I take it this way. From my friend's perspective, it's being more like, I mean, it was clearly not a joke. She is entertaining some ideas inside. This is why those words come out of it. It sounds like a joke, but I know where it is coming from. She is also right. If you look at from her perspective, right? This is how things are starting to break apart. So I should take my own position and say, what is it that I did wrong in there? Yes, she did something wrong from her perspective too, but it's her business, not mine. What was my wrongdoing in there? So rather than trying to cleanse myself altogether, I need to focus on my own problem. Where did I mess it up? And practically, this is how it is happening. Things are happening in human-human relations, but it doesn't stay there. Eventually, this attitude of self-cleansing goes all the way to my relationship with my creator, and I start cleansing myself and blaming my creator. This is the real issue. Otherwise, let's say with my friend, we fought. Okay, I go and find another friend. Maybe I'm not going to see you again. Fine. But that fight is eventually damaging my relationship with my creator because I am learning a bad habit of cleansing myself in this fight. And eventually there's going to become a disagreement between me and my creator, and I'll blame my creator. This is why it is problematic. Does this make sense? It doesn't stay there. Like it's not just a human issue. because that human issue will start instilling a personality to you. And then eventually, if you think deeper about it, you are becoming displeased with your creator. And you will start implicitly or explicitly arguing against your creator. This might sound very far for you right now because I'm presenting it out of context to you. But seriously, the friend I talked 2 days ago went through an earthquake in my hometown. Before the earthquake, his father passed away. And then he tried to, from cancer, and he was looking after his father. Then he tried to become a municipal ruler, but then he tried so hard, he get the best grades and whatnot. For political reasons, they didn't let him to. One after the other, so qualified if a person couldn't find a job. Now earthquake happened, no house. So he says, I'm practically homeless. As an accumulated, if you like, anger towards the creator, and he doesn't want to explicitly be angry with the creator, but you sense at least that he has a broken heart towards his creator. Where does this come from? I deserved a good life. I deserved having a family, children, a good income, but I am not given. See where it goes to. Like this self-cleansing of mine can lead me, and maybe has already led me, if I pay attention to where I am today, to that. Does this make sense? Okay. I'm hoping that I'm not making up a case for you, because I feel like this truly is the case. But to see it in my life, I need to pay attention and where I am. Any comments, any questions before I go to the next verse? No. So we also talked about this one last time. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْفَاسِقُونَ. And do not, to us, he says, do not be like those who forgot Allah, and he made them forget their own souls. Such are the rebellious transgressors. So this is a very interesting verse. The Creator says, if you forget me, I will make you forget yourselves. What does that mean? Those people are even becoming self-obsessed. Forget about forgetting the self. Yes.
So the initial thought that came to my head is like souls are born good. Or people are born good. And so if you forget God, then you forget to do good. That's where my mind went.
Okay.
Where you don't do good, like you ignore it.
That's good. But then since good is so much of a loaded word, we need to make it a little more practical. Yeah.
What I can understand is that when we forget Allah, we forget the purpose of life. We forget our own selves.
That's good. I mean, that's a very good point. For instance, like let's say you are a student, and then somehow you forgot your purpose. Let's say you forgot about the degree. Then what happens? You are not a student anymore. Like you forgot who you were. In a university, you would see such student by title, but not student at all, other than the title. Such people, right? They would do partying, they would do anything but studying. How could a student become like that? They forgot what the goal was. Right? So if I forget the creator, meaning I have a provider, I have a sustainer, a maker, a creator, then what do I become? I start thinking as if I control myself. or I am capable of reaching somewhere. Isn't it? People are starting to get sleepy. So what do you think, Mahmoud? Let's go with Mahmoud. Mahmoud is not sleepy. So when it says forgetting Allah, what does that mean practically? Do you ever forget Allah?
Just forgetting Allah would mean going through your day, just forgetting to do dhikr, or forgetting to maybe pray, forgetting to just worship,
Mm-hmm.
or just forgetting that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the reason that like you even exist in the first place.
Mm-hmm. And how does this happen? Does it happen to you? I'm making it too personal, sorry, but I'm dragging you into the conversation.
Just subconsciously, like for example, if I'm doing my homework, I'm not consciously like actively thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I guess yeah.
Mm.
I would like to elaborate on this point.
Okay.
Is that, like for example, Mahmoud mentioned about the homework. If we have an intention, good intention, like we do homework for like religious purpose, like to whatever, like if we do homework for religious purpose, then this could also become zikr or
Yes. But again, that's very loaded. We need to because like sure, have you ever done homework with a religious purpose? What does it even mean, right? I mean, it's hard to even combine the two in our heads because religion means something before the what's it? Prayer rug, generally speaking. I mean, it's being hard.
yeah. I mean, like you do homework, you will earn money, then from that money you will give zakat.
20 years later.
But it's a good intention.
Good. It's good. But rather than doing this 20 years later prayer, just go and pray on the rug, man. Like, why are you postponing it for 20 years? There should be a way to make it a religious, let me use the word religious, action when you are doing the homework itself. You don't need to wait 20 years. There's a way. But that's why I'm saying that it's lauded. And this is generally how we take it. When we say religious, it either has to be with the salat, has to be by paying zakat. And what I'm doing is eventually going to lead to that. It does not need to be like that. Yes.
I think that's also what I meant when I said that, like, when you're doing an activity and you realize that, you should say Bismillah to make it like worship or to like be more conscious of Allah while you're doing it. Like, you all of a sudden also just realize that you're being a hypocrite, or at least that's how I'm feeling now. Because, like, for example, if I'm shopping and I'm saying Bismillah, I'll be like, actually, I'm saying in the name of Allah, but I'm not really doing this in the name of Allah at all. So it's just confusing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I also think there's that element of you will still do your homework, but like, I don't know, do you just give up everything and do everything in the name of Allah?
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
Yeah.
You're saying it's like action without intent.
Yeah,
It's like
like,
you're just doing it and you're saying it, but you don't really mean it.
yeah, like, what does in the name of Allah mean? Because like, you're saying I'm doing this in the name of Allah, but like, you just remembered that you're saying Bismillah to make that activity worship. And the max you can do is think about how he's like creating the homework, but still you didn't start off as doing it for him.
Yeah. Maybe that's why you say that at the beginning, so that you remember it. But we'll get to that, inshallah. Yes.
I was thinking about like intent, and like recently I've been going to like a few classes in a masjid, and they brought in a shaykh that really was talking about salat and how between like you can make your fard salat and you can change your intent from fard to your sunnahs while you're in your salat, but you can't change your intent from sunnahs to fard while you're in your salat. It's like taking something from bigger level of importance down, but the intent is still there. Like, let's say it's like, oh, you hear somebody while you're praying say, oh, I'm gonna pray. And then he's like, oh, if you change your intent to say, I'm already in my salah, but I want to pray Jama'ah, like then to have the blessings of praying Jama'ah. It's like you can change your intent to your sunnahs. And that's kind of what it got me thinking about when you were saying like in your intent for things, that
can we start something and change our intent and still have the same activity? Is it the same reward? Like, can I start studying to think, oh, it's important for my class, but then realize like midway, like, oh no, this is important for my soul as well.
Mhm. So let me give a practical example for that. Let's say you are going through some, like you're sick, and it's a tough disease you're going through. Of course, you would like to get healed, right? Nobody likes disease most of the time, right? You would like to get healed. But how could it be that seeking for healing would become a good deed or worship, right? Because no matter what, you're going to go through that healing process, even if you're a believer, non-believer, whatever, everybody goes to hospital, right? But as a believer, as I am going through that, do I see it as an opportunity that my creator says, look, this is a, just like the programming assignments I give to my students, this is an assignment given to me by my creator. And the point is not to get 100 out of that. The point is to learn something out of that. Like the assignments that you get in your classes, the point is not to get you that nonsense number. That nonsense number is just an indication of whether you learned or you didn't learn. By itself, the number doesn't have any value, right? Because you can hack the system, put 100 over there. Does it make you any better? Let's say you're a good hacker. You didn't do any of the assignments, but at the end of the term, you just go and play with the numbers, and now you got an A+. So what, right? You're sick. You're going through a healing process. Your question is being, what is it that I'm supposed to learn in this process? Why does my creator create me in this position? Why did he give me that assignment in the first place? What am I supposed to learn out of that? Then it becomes worship. Then it can become worship. Let's put it this way. Yes.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of the times we're not focusing, we're not remembering Allah, and we're just so busy with our routines. That is when like something comes up and it's a sign from Allah that I'm here as well, right, with you, and you're not remembering me, I'm the provider. So it's like connecting the entitlement thing, I guess. So when you feel entitled, you just like you distance yourself away from the deed, I guess, in a way, and then everything becomes a routine. And in that routine, prayer is not a part of that routine. You're not remembering Allah as much, and then something comes up, and then you remember Allah. So, in a way, it's a good sign that everything is from Him. Your health is from Him, and if you get sick, that is from Him as well. That's an opportunity for you to connect with Him, I guess.
Yes.
Regarding the homework thing, I think it's whatever you're doing, if you do it honestly, you're putting in the hard work, I think that is more than enough to make it a good deed. And in turn, like,
And also who you are versus who your creator is. Again, that since you're professional students for, I guess, at least what, 20 years of 15 years of education so far here. So this is your professional job. You know how to learn, right? So let's go with an example from a student. So I do see some students like that. Students comes and either there are students who are social engineers, like we are at computer science department, but I do see students who are more social engineers than they are computer engineers. Let's put it this way. Like they are trying to manipulate the teacher. Hold on, I say, you're not here to manipulate me and get a number. You're here to learn. You forgot who you are. And you forgot who I am, first of all. I am a teacher to teach you here, and you're a student to learn. You're forgetting me as a teacher, and you simply see me as a number giver, and then you forget who you yourself are. You are becoming a number collector rather than being a learner, a student, and then everything gets messed up. Why are you here then, right? Likewise, I forget my creator as my teacher, my sustainer here, And I start seeing myself as the engineer of my life. I am here to decide what's good for me, what is bad for me. I am here to enjoy my life, to maximize my day-to-day joys and whatnot. Life becomes messed up.
Yes, the barakah part. So whenever you're going out to even earn something that is halal, then you see barakah. But if you're not, if you're going like getting the means through other ways which are you're not supposed to do that, and like bad ways, I guess, then you won't see barakah. So $100 might have like with barakah, they might mean a lot more than $1,000 probably. So that way, your hard work, and if you're doing it honestly, that becomes a worship, act of worship, I guess.
Yes, actually, maybe we should at some point also study that, what barakah means. I think the same $100 could become $1 million for you. And I'm not talking about materially, but in the way that this $100 makes you feel. And we are jumping from topic to topic, but just to give you a very close example, because I once felt it in my life, but it's so beautiful of a memory for me. I was born in a city which is famous with apricots. So I have seen a lot of apricots in the tree. So I took it for granted. Apricots happen on a tree. As easy as that. It's not something that I ever felt thankful for, because where else could apricot come from, right? But once in my life, I went to another city where tangerines, for the first time in my life, I saw it in the tree. And they have this nice orange color, right? I was so shocked. Like tangerine from the tree, it has to be gift of God. Like that stupid tree cannot make me tangerine. I am 100% sure. I took the tangerine, but I was not able to eat the tangerine. I was so excited, this gift being given to me by my creator. So I cannot eat it. This never happened to me with the apricots, because I never thought apricots were gift of the creator. I took it for granted that it comes to me from tree. That single tangerine is full of barakah to me. Like it has been 20 years since this happened, but this tangerine is still with me today. I can talk about it and I can get excited with the tangerine. It didn't die. But many of the apricots that I have been eating from my childhood, they are all gone. I don't remember them. So if you can say Alhamdulillah truly about something, it becomes eternal, undying, full of barakah. Barakah means it never dies, right? If your $100, if you truly see it as a gift coming from your creator, it would be more than billions of dollars that somebody else wastes. Because wasted money means it went away. But that $100, if you are thoroughly convinced for $100, because actually once an old, I would say, grandfather was in our house, and he was saying that he was working in Germany, and he said, I come home from the bazaar. He was a seller in the bazaar, and he said to his wife, and he's speaking the very heavy accent Turkish. I really like it. So he says, I came to and we are sitting with my wife. I said, let's go to Hajj. He says, I put my pocket, took out, let's say 2,000 euros. He says, Wallah, Hajj is 4,000 euros. I only have 2,000. He said, I put my hand in the other pocket. He doesn't know how much he made. And he takes out money and he says, oh, it is 315 now, 3,500. But Wallah, we are missing 500. He said, I put my head here and looked a little more. He says, another 500 came. So he said, now 4,000 is there. We are going to Hajj. But he said, well, I was spoiled, he says. I said, oh Allah, if you go to Hajj, we will need to eat food. A little more for food money. So he said, I put my head to the other one and extra, I don't know the numbers. I'm just throwing the numbers, but this is literally what he was mentioning, is that the money came. So this, let's if it is 4,500 euros for him. This is a euro, that money is full of barakah, because still that money is with him, even if he spent it and went Hajj and whatnot, but that money is still with him because it's a constant connection with him and the sustainer and the provider. Because sustainer and provider doesn't die. Money dies, who cares? As long as the source is alive and with me, this is what barakah is. So all those things that we say, these are the things we learned from our childhood, but they're so beautiful, so strong meanings actually. So yes, may Allah give barakah to our studies, to our sustenance, to our moments, meaning make them eternal, never ending. So this is why, to tie it, just a small tie, you can step into Jannah, paradise, when you are on earth. The tangerine is to me like a fruit of paradise because it didn't die. Many of the things I eat, they died away, but that tangerine didn't die. As in paradise, it never dies. So you can start tasting Jannah when you're on earth. This is why you can be sure of Jannah even before you step into Jannah after your death. This is what Iman means. You can be sure of Jannah. You can be sure of Jahannam, hell, when you're on earth. This is what Iman means. Shall we go with the next one? This part was supposed to be a recap. But these are all verses, yes.
What's nafs then from that?
So humans' nafs is like being mentioned as Quran is speaking to me about myself. And see what you have here. Like very beautiful. Actually, inshallah, if we study Qadar, it's even going to be nicely more explained. Like important topics to really pick up on. Qadar, waswasa. Because waswasa, those whispers are coming from outside, right? When I say waswasa, does it make sense to anyone? Waswasa? You know what it is? Okay. So waswasa is, Quran mentions waswasa. When Quran says waswasa, if you know what it means, it says, well, yeah, I have these scrupulous voice as if suggest me to do something, but I don't know where it is coming from. Quran says it's coming from outside. It does not belong to you, which is beautiful. Because sometimes you feel like, oh, those evil thoughts coming, am I going crazy? Quran says, no, you're not going crazy. I created someone who is going to whisper things, suggest things to you for your education. Do not attribute it to yourself. Now comes to nafs, another thing. So the Creator says, I put something in you, which is those desires. If you spoil it, it's going to be your enemy. But if you tame it, if you use it properly, it's going to lead to your success. Like you might like eating, let's say, candy. You have this desire to eat candy. I'm going to give some simple example, but you can extrapolate it for any desires you have. So since eating candy is considered halal, you can expand it more. Eating candy. You're given that desire. You can spoil it. You can, whenever you desire something sweet, you can just go and devour it like an animal. What would happen? You're going to become diabetes. First, you will use your teeth. Then you're going to develop diabetes, and you will start harming yourself. But if you control it, this sweet, being a sweet tooth, in a religious way, what I mean by that is you eat sweet and say, I enjoyed it, but the joy comes from not this baklava, not my tongue, but the one who wanted to please me by creating this joy. So I praise him. Now I am using this skill, this sense given to me in a proper way. So nafs in this case is this, if you like, the collective senses put to human, but it can go both ways. Do I properly tame these desires, or I just follow them in an unlimited fashion? Because human is not put limits on those desires. Like animals are put limits, like a lion. A lion would kill someone, some animal, let's say, but then once the lion is full, you can go and tap the lion. Lion is not going to attack you. Lion attacks you when just to fill its stomach. But a human will kill millions of people. And if you give another million, we have seen such people, right? They just kill. What's the point? Human is not put limits for those. So this is why this nafs could become so enormous in wrongdoing. But if you tame it, the same human could become Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. Like you see the same nafs, same potentiality could become Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, could become Pharaoh. So that's why, is it by itself evil? No, children are being created with those skills, those senses, but suggestions comes from those whispers. Which way do you follow? Do you reject those suggestions or do you go with those false suggestions? Okay. And in our last 6 to 10 minutes, let's touch upon this one. Next week, we need to start a new topic. ما أصابك من حسنة فمن الله وما أصابك من سيئة فمن نفسك وأرسلناك للناس رسولا وكفى بالله شهيدا. Very interesting verse. Whatever good happens to you is from Allah, but whatever evil happens to you is from your soul. And we have sent you as a messenger to mankind, and enough is Allah for a witness. What an interesting split. If something is good, it is his, something is bad, mine. It's not just, it sounds like. Like if MSA is successful, president is going to take the praise. If MSA is unsuccessful, vice president is going to get the blame. Sounds like this. I don't know. I mean, if you want to read it wrong, this is what it sounds like. If it is good, God takes the credit. If it is bad, I get the credit. Why? If you put your religious identity aside, can you make sense of this verse? I mean, of course, Quran says so, so it must be true, so fine. But I'm talking about, are you convinced about this split? Because if you are convinced about this split, you will enjoy this split. There are two ways to take this verse. One is, well, it really sounds like a problematic verse, but I would like to come up with a cover so that when my atheist friend asks it, here is the answer, I gave it, and he shut up. Did I benefit from it? No. I was just being apologetic, defensive, but I didn't enjoy the verse either. I just win an argument. That's at best why I would enjoy it. Yes.
This isn't the way you want the answer, but this is how I take it. It's like from Allah, everything is perfect in his essence. So even if it's fair or thinking about Yom Qiyamah and Jahannam, it's fair. Those who go to Jahannam understand that they earned whatever they've gotten, and that's from Allah. And in our human nature, we'll think of that as bad, but it's still from Allah, and it's good that it's fair and just. And that whenever we make a mistake or we do something that's wrong and it's to us, it's because it's out of balance with fairness. And I feel like if you think about Allah's mercy and also his wrath, we always mention his mercy first, but all of those come within his divine balance, that all of that is good. Even the wrath, it is good because it's in Allah's balance. That when we come out of balance or make something like a mistake, it's not fair, something is done wrong, and that's how we can take it from ourselves, that everything that Allah does is in his divine balance.
And how do I see that is important? That's right. But how can I be convinced about that? So that whatever happens, let it be a car accident, let it be an earthquake, let it be my best friend just not showing any interest in me, whatever it is, I consider as bad. Is it bad? This is what it is challenging, actually. It is saying that if there is any goodness, it belongs to the Creator. if let's put it this way, if you see good, it belongs to the creator. If you see bad, it's because you are looking wrong. Let me paraphrase it. Because good or bad is about something, right? Thing means I observe a thing here. Is it good or bad? It's as if it is good, you can say it is good because it belongs to the creator. This is how things become good, as they are attributed to the creator. If you see that as bad, then that means there's something wrong with your sight.
So it's a perspective kind of thing.
Yes, because I am painting it as bad. This is again going to be about qadr, because well, actually anything we will discuss is about qadr. Any topic you discuss will boil down to qadr as well, because qadr is such a topic. But this is also related to children are being killed in Gaza. It is bad or good? Let me ask you a tough question, right? It's easier to talk about a bag.
I would go towards something which is
Simpler.
called hikmah.
Okay.
I mean, we don't know the hikmah,
Mhm.
only Allah knows. It like sometimes you make sense in a later part of your life, whatever has happened to you in the past. And
Yeah.
maybe at that time you feel you were hard done by Allah, I guess.
Mhm.
And during the later part of your life or
Yeah.
a year from that incident, probably you'll be thinking that, oh, in hindsight, it was a good thing which happened to me. I'll probably go back and do it again
Yes.
because it taught me a lot of things. Probably not at that time because when you're angry, you're not thinking straight, you're not positive, right? But there's always a hikmah to every single bad thing happening to you and good thing happening to you.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And yes, that's true. That's true. And how do I see that? Because let me give examples are helping that. What you're saying is right, but it's hard to convince myself about it, generally speaking, especially when the hardship hits, right?
Yeah.
So when I was like primary school, second year or so, I was at my aunt's house with my sister, and they were watching some sort of a soap opera in Turkish. And there was a little boy, his mother died, father died. It was so hard for me as a first grader. So I said, close it, close it. They didn't close it, close the TV, shut it off. So I was so angry and I left the house. I couldn't take it. It was evil for me. Like, why on earth would you make a child, mother and father die in a movie, right? But of course, you watch the same movie as a grown-up, and you see that it's a what do they say? A plot item or
Plot twist.
plot? Yeah, something about the story. It needs to be there to convey a message. You know that the boy is just an actor, mother was an actor, father was an actor, and director was trying to convey a message. Mother or father figures in there didn't die really yet. They died relative to the movie, but the guys get paid and getting some nice holiday in a resort right now, right? They didn't die in the sense of death I feel about. This life, is it how different it is? Do you feel like a child who is killed in Gaza right now, death gone for good, or life is a training? Creator creates us as actors and gives us roles. We will discuss qadar separately. To learn something, people are playing their roles and getting paid as they play the roles. And the creator says, okay, your role finished, out of the movie. If there is afterlife, which there must exist, then there's no evil in this existence. Dying of that child relative to the act, relative to the director, death of that child is beautiful, but relative to the director. But in the movie, the guy who is killing the child is doing some act relative to the plot of the story. Okay, so if I do see it as an evil as a child when I did, right? This I couldn't take it because I didn't see the big picture. I didn't see it as a movie. I thought it's real. That's why I was unable to take it. But once you see it as a medium of message, and you know these are actors, and then there's a separate life other than the movie itself, you say, well, it's very purposeful, very meaningful. So the evil is in my sight. I mess things up the way I interpret things. But if I look at it from how the director, the creator, purposefully lays things down, I would say death is beautiful. Because forget about the child dying in Gaza. I am dying. This is something like everybody is dying. Your parents are dying. Everybody is dying. Death is not that far. Death is here. Like I started having those white hair. I am dying. I sense that I am dying. Death is beautiful, I would say. It's not evil. I would consider death as evil if I don't see the purpose. This is why وَمَا أَصَابَكَ مِنْ سَيِّئَةٍ فَمِنْ نَفْسِكَ. Something comes to you and you see it as evil, it's because you see it as evil. Okay?
You don't see the big picture.
Yes. And I need to look at it from where my creator shows it to me. So I should be seeking guidance for that. So why is that related to self-purification? I start saying bad things. My creator is saying that bad things is not out there. Bad things is here. You make it bad. You make it evil. You make it dirty. It's not dirty. Blame yourself if you consider it as evil. You are painting it as evil. Does this make sense? So this is another way of false purification that we do, false cleansing. But then I will leave it to you. I don't know if we should keep talking. I have another verse. But قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا is another verse which then says those who purify themselves are saved. So there's this other type of purification which Quran is suggesting me to do. So purification is not wrong. One type of purification is wrong. Another type of purification is suggested. And let's stop here. Maybe we should discuss this next week. And then we can start another topic if we finish it halfway through. This other purification we didn't talk about yet that much. Any comments, questions?
Try and relate it to wudu.
Wudu?
Because I like that's a practical form of purification that I can think of.
Okay.
So how do I see wudu as purification, and then how do I see the purification of myself?
Good. Let's talk about that. Inshallah. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن